Good evening, Tallahassee. This is student meteorologist Nico Sapienza, and we are going to talk about the weather tonight. It's currently 81 degrees and sunny in Tallahassee. It is warmer than average for this time of the year. Our winds are out of the north-northwest, so we are having dry air, which is going to become a problem pretty soon because we are in a drought, which is going to likely worsen into a severe drought on Thursday when the next drought outlook comes out. But today it's in the upper 70s to low 80s area-wide, except in the mid-70s if you're right along the coast. We get that breeze off the ocean, that cool breeze that feels nice. And tonight it's going to be 59 and partly cloudy in Tallahassee. It's going to stay warmer than average for this time of the year. But our headlines for tonight, we have a seasonal start to the month, however a dry start, which could be fire weather, could be a problem. We got a winter storm affecting the Pacific Northwest. And we need to talk about staying safe in the Sierra Nevadas as they also get affected by a snowstorm. All that and more on FSU weather tonight.
Good evening, Tallahassee. It is November 1st, so it's the start of that holiday season. Though I may not agree with it, I have been seeing people listening to Christmas music and getting all of their sweaters and stuff out for Christmas coming up. But I hope you had a great Halloween over the weekend. I know that yesterday was a big day here in Tallahassee, and we just had a great weekend in general. We had that win against Georgia Tech, and we've had some Halloween fun over the past few days. And I know, like, going into today, everyone's getting excited for Thanksgiving and all of the holidays coming up. And we've got beautiful weather in store for the next couple of days. Sunny and about 80 degrees, lows in the 50s. It's going to be wonderful outside with nice sunshine to cover our whole area. We are worrying about some things happening in the northwest right now with some winter weather. And there's also winter weather happening in Sierra Nevada, California, which we'll be talking about later in the show. And just kind of for the next couple days here in Tallahassee, weather's going to be kind of boring. We're going to have that high pressure stay and bring some sunshine. So we're going to talk about all of this and plenty more here on this show. And we're going to pass things off to Joey at the wall, who's going to take a look over things happening here in Tallahassee.
Thank you, Caitlin. Yeah, I wouldn't really say that the Christmas season started yet, but definitely for you Christmas lovers, it's going to be soon that we're going to see Christmas. So starting out, we're going to look over the stadium, and we're going to see a beautiful sunset starting to take place. There's not many clouds out there, and the sun is shining bright. The temperature currently is about 81 degrees with our winds coming out of the north-northwest at 9 miles per hour. So the temperature almanac, you see that the temperatures that we've experienced, about 82 is our high today. It's a little bit above average, and we're going to be keeping these above average temperatures throughout the next week or so. Looking at the current temperatures throughout the region, we're seeing those upper 70s and the low 80s right now, which for November, you want to see those temperatures start to get down into a more fall-like feel, but we're still experiencing those 80s. But the one good thing we do have is the sun is shining throughout most of our region, if not all of it, so that's a positive. The dew points are pretty moderate, right? We're pretty average with the dew points. It's pretty dry feel almost outside, but the dew points in the 50s and 60s for most of the region. So now we're going to look at the radar, and well, as you can see, the radar is pretty dry, right? Nothing going on the radar. The green you see there is just some backscatter from our local radar, but there's nothing going on the radar. The low temperatures tonight, it's going to be a beautiful night if you want to go outside and do something outdoors. It's going to be beautiful. The low temperatures are going to be in the upper 50s, and the sun, or the moon, there's not going to be any clouds to cover up the moon, so it's going to be a beautiful day to go look at some stars or do something outside. Now we're going to look at the high temperatures for tomorrow, and we're going to see those highs get back up into the mid-80s. So once again, we're in November, and we're going to have those mid-80 temperatures, so it's going to be a warm one. So try to, if you're going to park your car, I would try to find a shady spot to park, because getting in my car today when it was in the sun was not a fun thing. The future radar, you're going to see a few clouds maybe start trying to creep through the area, and then especially as we get into Wednesday night, but overall, the precipitation should stay away for the most part, and we should stay pretty sunny outside. The marine forecast, we're going to see that the temperature down in Panama City Beach is 82 degrees. Our winds are coming out of the north at about 5 to 10 knots, and the waves are pretty moderate with 1 to 2 foot waves. Looking at the res at Lake Bradford, it's a beautiful picture. There's no clouds to look at. The sun is shining bright, and so it's a great day to be out at the res this afternoon. So for our hourly forecast, we're going to see at about 11 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to see those temperatures in the low 70s, but those will start to pick up as we get through our day. into the 80s tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. And then for the 7-day forecast, we're going to see that the temperatures are going to start out in the mid-80s for our highs and pretty much maintain that mid-80 feel throughout majority of the next 7 days. And the sun will remain shining with our lows staying in the 50s throughout the next few days. So it's going to be a beautiful week ahead. Now I'm going to pass it on over to Nico to give us a look at Florida.
Thank you, Joey. So here's our look around Florida. It's a very nice evening. Area-wide around Florida, it's sunny in Orlando, sunny in Miami, sunny on St. George Island, and it's warm, so it's a good day to go to the beach if you're going out there, and sunny at the FSU res as well. But your current temperatures, 78 degrees in Tallahassee, but look what happens when you go further south into Florida. You got an 86-degree temperature. In Tampa, you got an 87-degree temperature in Orlando. So that's very, very unseasonably warm for this time of the year. Your current dew points as well, you're humid in the peninsular part of Florida. Your dew point's in the 70s right now. Your dew point up in Tallahassee, 53. It's much drier out right now and feels nice. But here's your satellite and radar. You got a front out in New Orleans, or west of New Orleans in Louisiana and Mississippi, but the rest of the area, it's dry, it's staying dry, and that's not good because we are starting to get into a drought. And a look at your wind speeds and direction at the moment. Most of the wind is off the Atlantic coast right now, which can sometimes lead to some coastal showers around that area, but I have not seen any really today on the radar unless you're way down in southeast Florida, down by Miami and Palm Beach. The rest of Florida, up in Tallahassee, the wind's out of the north, which is a dry wind direction. But if you're looking at your 3-day forecast for Miami, you've got maybe a few coastal showers, but nothing really big of note. You have a red flag for Wednesday, so I think that's for the beach, that if you are going into the water, you might have to worry about rip currents. But it's going to be warm. Now for Tampa, you do have thunderstorms tomorrow. There is a weak cold front going into the area, and along with the weak cold front, we're going to see the sea breezes be active in the peninsular part of Florida tomorrow. With that warm temperature, 88 degrees will be probably near a record high. Orlando in the center part of the state, where the sea breezes are going to meet in the afternoon, you have a higher chance of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. But then you're dry on Thursday and Friday, but look at the morning lows in the 70s, which indicates very warm and humid conditions for this time of the year. Jacksonville, you probably won't have as much in the way of showers and storms. The wind's going to be out of the east tomorrow, and the sea breeze, when there's winds out of the east and then when the sea breeze forms, it typically means the storms are going to form along the St. Johns River in that part of Florida and move west. So the coastal counties should stay dry. Thursday will feel nice. Friday is going to be back in the 80s. It's unseasonably warm in northeastern Florida as well. Pensacola is not going to be affected by the sea breeze, and it's going to be around 80 degrees, give or take a couple degrees the next few days, and it's going to feel very nice out. And for a look at tonight's temperatures, in your upper 50s to low to mid 60s in northern Florida, and in the 70s in central and southern Florida, and then into tomorrow, it's going to be 84 up here, but dry. But this peninsular part of Florida, it's going to be almost 90 degrees with showers and storms in the afternoon. But now I'm going to pass things off to Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nico. Florida's looking a lot kind of like the whole southeast right now. We're all kind of sitting in the same boat. We have a high pressure system over the all southeast right now. That's keeping everyone kind of pleasant outside. Nice temperatures sitting in the 70s to 80s. Look at Mexico Beach, it's got clear skies. And Charlotte, North Carolina also has clear skies. We do got a little bit of cloud cover in Blacksburg, Virginia, and Atlanta right now. That's going to lead to some pretty sunrises and sunsets tonight. Even maybe sunrise tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll have to see. Current temperatures right now for the southeast, really warm here in South Florida, looking at 85 in Miami, 86 in Tampa, but kind of in the mid-70s for the rest of the southeast. A little chilly there in Shreveport, Louisiana, at 69. Nothing too crazy. We do got a lot of sunshine throughout all of southeast, a little bit of cloud cover too, but no storms in the area right now. Dew points, we've got those muggier dew points for South Florida. That's always kind of the story, 74 in Miami. We're looking at some pretty traditional, pretty right on average dew points for most of the rest of the southeast, sitting in the mid-50s. That just means we're not really too muggy and not really too dry, so that's something to think about going as we're making plans. We don't have to worry about that Florida humidity here in Tallahassee. Upper level water vapor shown. We do have a little bit of cloud cover around the area. There is a little bit more of moisture happening in Texas. There is like a stationary front down in the more southern part of Texas, bringing in a little bit more moisture for them, but nothing too concerning for the rest of the southeast. And our wind speed's also showing that we have a high pressure. You can see they're moving clockwise around the the high pressure system. So that's just indicative that we've got some really nice, sunny, pretty weather in the area. Our radar is showing, like we said, really nice weather, nothing going on, a little bit of rain with that stationary front there in Texas, bringing them a couple of showers. But for us here in the southeast, we're just looking at pretty dry conditions. There's a little bit of rain down in Miami, which is going to be the story for them over the next couple of days, as they have a little bit of that sea breeze bringing some rain and showers. Fayetteville, Arkansas, the next couple of days, you guys are looking beautiful for sunny and 75 Wednesday to Thursday, but you do have a cold front heading your way, and you'll be experiencing some showers on Friday with 80% chance of rain. Those temperatures will drop just slightly, but nothing too drastic when that cold front does move through. For our friends in Raleigh, you guys are also looking beautiful. It's going to be sunny and 72 degrees for the next 2 days. You're going to a little bit of cloud cover, nothing too crazy, and your lows are just sitting in the 50s, so that's nothing too bad either. And looking at that future radar, like I said, South Florida is going to be the story for this one. You've got a little bit of that sea breeze bringing a couple of pockets of showers and some heavy storms going into tomorrow, that would be happening on Thursday. Rest of the southeast looking really dry over the next couple of days. This is going to Thursday night, so for the next about 24 to 48 hours, we're not looking at a lot of rain. There will be a couple of cloud cover, though, to be looking out for. Temperatures tonight, we're sitting in the mid-50s for most of the southeast. A little warmer in South Florida, but that's always a story for them down there. They don't get those nice fall temperatures until later. And looking at the temperatures going into tomorrow, they're the same as today. We were about 84 today. We're going to be 84 tomorrow here in Tallahassee and the rest of the southeast. It's going to be a similar story to what they were experiencing yesterday. Though in Miami, you are going to have those sea breeze showers to be looking out for over the next couple of days. That's all I have for the southeast, but we're going to pass things over to Evan. He's going to talk a little bit about the tropics, right, Evan?
Actually, I'm going to talk about the national first. So we're going to zoom out a little bit. And actually, similar to the southeast, most of the U.S. is actually above average in terms of temperature right now. And you actually see that on our current temperature map. Bismarck, North Dakota is sitting at 71 degrees on November 1st at 6:13 in the afternoon. So that's just indicative of how warm we are for this time of the year. So you're getting one last look at late summer, early fall almost in that part of the country. So enjoy it while it lasts, because I'm sure as time goes on and the winter months start, things will start to change here. So we're also very dry in that part of the country, and we'll actually look into this later. There's actually a fire risk in parts of the country right now because of the lower humidity and some strong gusty winds. So we'll get to that in a second. But we're still nice and humid in Florida, sitting at that green thumb there over there with those dew points. 74 is that muggy dew point in Miami right now. That's the summer kind of mugginess out there, so not very nice out there in terms of humidity. So hopefully we can change that. I'm not sure if that will happen very soon, but hopefully we can change that trend as we head towards the winter months. But heat index, you can see that a lot of places are sitting in the upper 70s in terms of heat index, so not all that different from your actual temperature, but still warmer than average for this time of the year. Miami's heat index, however, look at that, 94. It's November 1st, like I said before. So this is abnormal warmth throughout much of the country. You can see that on our tomorrow's low temperature anomaly. So this is when you wake up tomorrow morning, how the temperature is related to the average. Minneapolis, Minnesota sitting at 25 degrees warmer than normal. Kansas City sitting at 22 degrees above normal. So we are very, very warm for this time of the year. The lone exception is the West Coast, where you are a few degrees below average tomorrow morning. So hopefully we can share some of that wealth and kind of spread that eastward. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but hopefully we can start to change that trend. Surface pressure map is not showing a whole lot. There are some high pressure systems dominating much of the country, and that's actually why we have that nice sunny weather in the majority of the center part of our country, bringing that fire risk as well as drier dew points and lower humidity. In the center part of the country, there are a couple of low pressure systems associated with cold front working through Florida, and there's also that stationary front near Texas, bringing them some much needed rainfall because we are dealing with a drought there. And also a system out west, which we'll get to in a second here. And you see that on our active alerts, there are actually some winter alerts starting off November 1st. Some winter weather advisories for the mountains in the Rockies. Also freeze watch up there for the border of Washington and Oregon. Also down here, we're dealing with that high wind warning. That's also going to fuel that fire threat out west. So just be aware of that. Don't start any bonfires outside unnecessarily, because you don't want to be starting any wildfires this time of the year. But that snowstorm and rainstorm is going to be helping with those drought conditions out west, especially for Oregon, California, Nevada, and Idaho up here, and also up into Washington state as well. So that will definitely improve things. You can see that. Here's our snowfall forecast. A lot of snow. Certain places will see 1 to 2 feet in higher elevations, widespread 5 to 8 inches as well, maybe up to a foot in some places. But the bullseye is going to be the Sierra Nevada mountains, which we'll get to later in our show, where that bullseye for snow is that 1 to 2 foot range, like I said earlier. So much needed snow. So this is good for those ski lovers out there that want to go out west during the winter months. But in terms of rainfall, again, very beneficial for that drought-stricken west. So again, most of the area will see an inch or two of rainfall, so nothing too crazy, no flash flooding really to worry about, just some improved drought conditions. But here's that fire risk for the center part of our country, lots of red flag warnings, and there's also a winter storm warning here in southwestern Colorado. So again, dealing with the winter storm, dealing with the fire weather risk. That's because we have some strong gusty winds and lower humidity on that humidity scale. So just be aware of that. Try not to start any fires unnecessarily. But we also have to look forward to this on Thursday, possibly some severe weather for the heartland of the country. But tomorrow looks like we'll keep that warmth across much of the country, except for the Pacific Northwest. But now we're going to go over to the desk with Nico and Caitlin to look at what they have in store.
Thank you so much, Evan. Yeah, we're going to talk about Sierra Nevada, California, which I think, as Evan was explaining, is the bullseye for most of the snow that's going to be going in to the northwest over the next couple of days. We've got some fun facts just about the area in case you guys didn't know what it was. Do you want to read them off, Nico?
Yeah, sure. In Spanish, it means snow-covered mountain range, which makes sense. And then it's known for its 3 national parks and its 2 monuments. And it has the tallest waterfall in the United States, which will probably freeze over with the temperatures we're looking at the next 2 days.
Yeah, tomorrow's high is only 14 degrees, and the low for tomorrow is 1 degree. That's crazy. And then going into Thursday, it gets even colder with the high being only 10 degrees and the low being 3 degrees. And they've got some heavy snow in store for the next couple of days, bringing about 10 to 12 inches of snow for that mountain range area. That's just crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's a foot of snow. And if you get a little bit of underestimates, you could potentially have over a foot of snow in some of those areas. So you always want to know before you go out what the forecast is and check it. You want to shovel small amounts of snow at a time and take breaks. Otherwise, you're going to get overtired. And if you're shoveling while it's snowing, it's just going to get replaced by more snow. And you also need to remember to bundle up your pets because they are sensitive to the cold as well.
Right. And they're actually having a winter storm warning. And just to mention, it's different than a blizzard warning. We were looking at that earlier. The blizzard warning would mean they have really heavy amounts of wind. So they're looking at just heavy amounts of snow and bad winter weather conditions, but they're not looking at blizzard-like conditions, which is kind of nice for them. Because there would be really bad if there was blizzard-like conditions plus a foot of snow in November. That's just a bad way to start the month.
That wouldn't be good at all. Because the blizzard, then you're getting the wind, you're getting the whiteout. That's just not fun to drive in.
No, it's not fun at all. But we're going to pass things off to Evan, who is actually going to talk about the tropics this time and not national.
That's right. I do have some tropics in store for you. And that snow has really got people thinking, well, it's November 1st. We're starting the Christmas season. I wouldn't jump that far yet. I think Christmas season starts when Santa Claus goes down the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade down Fifth Avenue in New York City. I think that's when the Christmas season starts. However, we are still in hurricane season. That's what's something we can all agree on. And we actually have 2 active tropical systems in the Atlantic right now, tropical storms Lisa and Martin. Martin formed earlier today, so we'll take a look at both of those. But first, we're going to point out we have a new area to watch here in the Western Caribbean, so we'll zoom in on that near the island of Puerto Rico. And that has a 20% chance of development over the next 5 days. I don't see this really being any main threat to the U.S. It's going to bring some heavy rainfall to these Caribbean islands here, specifically to the Dominican Republic and also Puerto Rico and some of the westernmost Caribbean islands. So just be aware of that if you have anybody that's heading out in that direction over the next few days. We also have Tropical Storm Lisa here in the Eastern Caribbean, or Western Caribbean, excuse me, heading towards the west, heading towards Belize for an eventual landfall there later on this week. 65-mile-an-hour sustained winds there. And jumping up further to the north, we have newly named Tropical Storm Martin here. That's very far north for this time of the year. 60-mile-per-hour sustained winds with that tropical storm. But looking back at Tropical Storm Lisa, it is expected to intensify here into a Category 1 hurricane tomorrow afternoon and eventually make landfall near Belize City, Belize tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow night as well. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on. There are actually hurricane watches in that pink color there, tropical storm warnings in the blue, and also hurricane warnings in that red color there. So just be aware of that. If you have anybody going to these areas, just make sure that they're aware of this, because they're going to get a lot of rainfall from this. As you can see, Belize City sits right about here on the coast, right here in central Belize, so they could get easily 5, 7, maybe even 10 inches of rainfall. I've actually been to Belize, and this is actually a very mountainous area, so they want to be aware of any flash flooding that could lead to mudslides, rock slides, landslides. Any of that stuff is all on the table. So just be aware of that if you are heading out to Belize, if you know anybody in that area as well. But back to Tropical Storm Martin is also expected to intensify into a Category 1 hurricane, a minimal hurricane at that. But again, it won't be any threat to land. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe if it maintains this hurricane status before it goes post-tropical, it could be the furthest north a hurricane has been in the Atlantic Basin. So that's something to really be impressed about. And you can see on that sea surface temperature, you see why we have Tropical Storm Lisa. Tropical Storm Martin is actually very anomalous. It's sitting in that cooler water. But this is actually the third time we've actually had 2 simultaneous tropical systems in the Atlantic Basin during the month of November. So that's something to really take your breath away. But we are still in hurricane season, so while we do have a lull here in the U.S., you always want to make sure you're keeping that hurricane kit stocked and get that insurance checkup as well. But Joey, how are we looking in terms of our lifestyle around Tallahassee?
Well, Evan, we're looking very well, right? The sun's been shining. It's a beautiful time to be in Tallahassee. Currently on Landis right now, you're seeing a temperature of about 78 degrees, but the sun is shining. There's not much worry about clouds or anything, and it's just a beautiful day to be out on Landis this afternoon. Tonight into College Town, we're going to see those temperatures drop down into the upper 50s. So once again, if you're going to do anything outside, go into College Town. Anything really outdoors, it's going to be a beautiful night to be outside. If you're going to go on a drive tonight or anything on the roads, just once again, you're not going to have to worry about rain or anything to block your view. It's going to be a beautiful time to just go outside and take a drive on the roads. So it's going to be in the mid-60s throughout the majority of your ride. At the airport currently, there's no delays, right? The sun's shining, no need to worry about any delays. It's clear travels, clear flights. So I want to first off, we got Angel over here, beautiful dog, lived a good 13 years, but rest in peace to Angel. Beautiful dog, lived a great 13 years of life. But currently the temperature, if you wanted to walk your dog in the morning, is going to be in the around 60 at 9 a.m., 58 at 7 a.m. So if you want to get up early to walk the dog, it would be a great idea. At the beach, we're going to see that the temperature at the beach tomorrow is going to be 82, 73 the water temperature, so it's going to be a beautiful day to go into the water, or if you want to go fishing or anything down at the beach, it's going to be a beautiful time to do that. For the hiking forecast, if you're going to go down into the trails in Crawfordville or anywhere really on a trail, it's going to be beautiful, 83 degrees tomorrow for the hiking. It's going to be partly cloudy. The sun might be out, so it might want to be a good idea to bring some sunblock or something to make sure you don't get sunburnt. I know that's something I have to work on myself to be better at bringing sunblock, but it is going to be a beautiful day to go hiking or anything you really want to do. So for the women's soccer team, they have a big game, ACC semifinals versus Notre Dame. It's the number 4 team in the country, Notre Dame, versus the number 5 team. So it's a big matchup Thursday night at 7 p.m. in Cary, North Carolina. It's going to be a beautiful day. The temperature is going to be 63 degrees. It's going to be a great night to go root on our Lady Noles. So if you're going to take the trip, it'll be a beautiful night at the soccer game. And for our football game, coming off a big win against Georgia Tech down in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium, 79 degrees for the kickoff time. It's going to be a beautiful game. Hopefully, Jordan Travis can keep up his good performance last week and lead us to another win over Miami, which we all want to beat Miami. And then for our 4-day outlook, we see those temperatures are going to be remaining in the mid-50s, and the sun will continue to shine throughout the week. So the next 4 days are looking good. Now I'm going to pass it off over to Caitlin to give us one last look at the local.
Thank you so much, Joey. Yeah, we're going to have a wonderful day. Look at that sunset right now. It's gorgeous over Doak Campbell Stadium. It's 81 degrees, sunny. That is just amazing shot. Get outside if you want to go see this. This is going to be a beautiful one to sit and watch for the end of our November 1st. We do have a light breeze right now going from the north-northwest, 9 miles per hour, nothing too crazy. Current temperatures right now, we're sitting in the upper to mid-70s throughout all of the Big Bend area. There's a little chillier, I guess, in Apalachicola, but they've got that nice sea breeze bringing them some cooler temperatures. But we're looking at 78 here in Tallahassee. It's going to be just a wonderful night. Dew points looking right on average. Nothing too crazy. We're really, really dry. We're not really, really muggy. We're at 53 right now. So it's just kind of nice outside. Wonderful. We've got a little bit of wind here in Tallahassee, 9 miles per hour. Nothing to concern or to change your plans tonight. But we're looking at pretty mild conditions over the Big Bend area. Current radar, we've got nothing really going on. We've got a little bit, this is just interference. Could be like smoke, bugs, anything like that. Nothing, this is not rain, so we're not worrying about that going into the next couple of hours. But our low temperatures tonight, it's going to be 58 here in Tallahassee, mid 50s, like low 60s throughout the area. It's going to be wonderful. I don't know if you guys have any plans tonight, but I think we should get out. It's November 1st. Maybe we take a drive, listen to some Christmas music. It's going to be great. And then tomorrow's highs, similar story to today, 84. Mid-80s throughout the whole area. It's going to be kind of warm with that sun shining. So we're not wearing our sweaters just yet, even though it's November, but we do have to be aware of these warmer temperatures because we are living in Florida. Future radar, we got some clouds coming in over tomorrow, so that's going to give us some relief from the sun. But other than that, we're not looking at any heavy pockets of rain. We got a couple pop-up showers, nothing that's going to be heavy rain gear or anything like that. But it's going to be just nice and sunny over the next couple of days. But I think that's all I have for us. We're going to pass things over to Evan and Nico over the desk. They're going to close us out tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Caitlin. Thank you very much. So I know we have some warmer than average temperatures here in Tallahassee. We could be hitting the upper 80s by the end of the week. That's very abnormal for this time of the year.
Yeah, it definitely is. And we don't have any really strong cold fronts coming in until at least next week. It's going to stay dry. It's going to stay warm. And that's going to fuel some dry conditions and fire weather potentially.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue moving forward. We could be in a level 3 out of 5 drought by Thursday when the new outlook comes out on Thursday morning. So that's quite concerning here in Tallahassee. So you definitely want to make sure you're heating any bird bands that are in the area. Don't start any bonfires unnecessarily. I know that's something that we need to really try and do this weekend.
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
this week, really.
Yeah, definitely. And into next week too. If we continue going at this, we're going to end up getting close to the level 4 out of 5 drought risk at some point because I don't see any significant rainfall in the forecast before next Thursday either, to be honest.
Yeah, but
So-
I mean, the good thing though is that hopefully sooner rather than later, we'll start to transition into some cooler, wetter weather. I know that's something that people down here are really looking forward to because we need a change. It's enough of the summer weather already. We need to get, I know November 1st could be the start of Christmas season for some, but still, we could get that Christmas feel in the air. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, it would definitely be nice to have some cooler weather than mid to upper 80s. I don't like going outside and immediately sweating all the time.
Yeah,
That's a summer thing.
Yeah, and there's actually one more sign that the Christmas season is on its way. We actually fall back on Sunday, so you can set those clocks back 1 hour, and we get 1 extra hour of sleep Saturday night into Sunday. So that's always good. So make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU Weather. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
And you can also always watch us live on YouTube at www.youtube.com/FSU Weather like you are now. And you can also follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather. You can always send us pictures at any of these sites, and we might post them if we can get something good. We're definitely going to see it. And if we get good cloud pictures, that's always nice to look at.
That's right. So we're going to leave you with one last shot at Doak Campbell Stadium. Have a great Tuesday night, everybody, and good night.